Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our Monday weather update for November the 6th. And we've got downpours across both Australia and New Zealand over the next few days, and we'll try and track them for you. Let's have a look and see what's going on with the animated wind map for later on across Monday. You can see in the bright white here a few showers and downpours around the North Island, a southerly flow there for you, with daytime heating is a recipe for a few afternoon thunderstorms or downpours, mostly around the North Island and maybe also the Nelson Ranges. And over in Australia, mostly through the inland part of Queensland, but also coming down into New South Wales, we've got these big afternoon downpours and thunderstorms. Because there's a east to southeasterly breeze in coastal areas, that will push some of those downpours further inland, which is a bit unfortunate for some of the main centres, but we've certainly seen rain falling. This is the last 24 hours showing downpours and rain that have been falling across New Zealand and Australia. So very good to see some of that green showing up. But north of Brisbane, those downpours are a lot further inland thanks to that sea breeze. And you can also see just north of Sydney here, some dry areas. So not everybody has had the downpours, but that's the nature of them. They are very much hit and miss for this week and next week as well. So we're not finished yet in eastern Australia, but Queensland maybe not getting as much as you might need. And of course, plenty of other downpours and thunderstorms on the western half of Australia. But this is the next week coming up, the departure from normal. And it's pretty good news, I think, for the most part. I mean, we're seeing a lot of white and blue in the map, which means either normal or above normal rainfall. But the nature of it is downpours and thunderstorms. It's not a widespread burst of rain that goes from point A to point B to point C. They'll just bubble up here and there and everywhere. So you can see dry spells in the red, but you can also see plenty of downpours across Australia and also New Zealand. It's Canterbury and Northland are the two driest parts of New Zealand for the next 7 days coming up. So let's break down what is happening over the next week. So as you can see here on Tuesday, southeasterly winds, afternoon downpours and patchy rain around the North Island and the Upper South Island. Southerly winds really coming up for most places. That's due to this big high, and that same high driving down a northerly wind if you're in Tasmania. And you can see those downpours bubbling up here again on Tuesday. As we go through to Wednesday, hot northerlies coming down here. That will spark a few more showers and downpours, mostly now only around New South Wales and Victoria, and obviously Tasmania. New Zealand's got also afternoon downpours forming here across Wednesday afternoon, possibly with thunderstorms. It's that time of the year where we get high pressure, a little bit of moisture in the atmosphere, and then the afternoon heat triggers those downpours. So both New Zealand and Australia seeing Wednesday afternoon thunderstorms and downpours. They'll be isolated though. Now on Thursday, a bit of low pressure starts to form around Australia, and that's what we mean by maybe a little bit more in the way of widespread rain or showers rather than those hit and miss thunderstorms that we've been seeing, and that links all the way up down towards Tasmania. Big block of high pressure between New Zealand and Australia means we're on a different side of things. We've got southerlies again on Thursday, and that will drive in more rain and showers. Well, mostly showers. These are afternoon maps. So it may be completely dry in the morning, and then in the afternoon, these thunderstorms or downpours start to form as a result of the cooler southerly, and it gets colder on Thursday with the afternoon heating because, summer is moving in, whether you believe it or not. The sun's getting, we're feeling the heat a lot more now as our days get longer. So as we head towards Friday, the high is over the top of New Zealand. There might be a couple of showers up here in the north, which is, as I said before, the driest part of the country over the next 7 days. So a few downpours there on Friday. Otherwise, high pressure. It'll be a bit cold to start with in the South Island on Friday morning. Keep up to date with the frost forecasted just in case there is one. Otherwise, it's going to be a fairly mild afternoon. And we've still got downpours here in Australia, mostly north of Sydney, up to about the border of Queensland. So Queensland's still staying fairly dry, and it goes that way into Saturday as well. You can see here just south of Brisbane a few showers, but really most of it is in New South Wales due to a little bit of low pressure in here, the sort of low pressure inland and the high pressure belt south of Aussie and out here to the east over towards New Zealand. So that is the forecast for the next rest of this week and going into the weekend. Next week, we do see more showers in Australia, but more windy westerlies coming back to the New Zealand area, which is pretty normal in November, but El Nino is likely to make those westerly winds carry on a bit longer this year. That is something that's usually fairly generic with El Nino. Rainfall-wise, as we talked about in Climate Watch last week, Australia very much drying out. These downpours, that's why we're talking about them. They're very, very welcome, apart from those that are harvesting wheat at the moment. And on the New Zealand side, drying out a bit is good news as well. So I think overall, it's a pretty positive forecast to kick off this week, the first full week of November. I'll be back tomorrow, Tuesday, with your next New Zealand update and also our 7-day Pacific Islands update. We'll see you then.